Hello everyone, welcome to the next video in our conversation series. As you saw with the last one, the objective here is to have a proper technical conversation with some of the really cool and exciting or even dope technologies which are out there in the market. And we promise no slides, it's succinct and straight to the point. So I just wanted to start off this one by introducing Aidan. Now, Aidan is from a company called Dope Security, and I think the very first question we should probably cover off is sort of if you can introduce yourself and the history of the name, how you got that.
Certainly, Daniel. Thanks for the invite first. Thanks for the invite to come on and speak today. So first off, yeah, Aidan Power. I'm the head of product at Dope Security. I've been building software products for over 25 years now. Dope Security, where the name came from. So the founder of Dope Security, Kunal, is he's Californian, born and bred. And in California, unlike probably in the UK and in Cork, dope means cool. And I think now it's actually transferring, that meaning is transferring to this part of the world as well. And I guess when he set up the company, he explained to me that he wanted the name of the company to actually mean something. That, you know, you have certain companies out there like Palo Alto and so forth, you know, none of them are even from Palo Alto. The offices aren't even in Palo Alto. For us, Dope Security, it means it's something that we strive to achieve all the time. Everything that we produce, it must be dope. And it's something within the group that we all talk about, the need for everything that we do. It has to be dope. And I guess from my perspective as the head of product, the user experience is the most important thing from that perspective. Everything we produce from the user experience side has to be dope. And I suppose initially, as I was thinking, was it a good name? But no, I wouldn't change it for the world, because of what it represents, and as well, people don't forget it. That's for sure.
No, and you're absolutely right there. And as we were talking earlier, I first heard of Dope seeing your jackets walking around InfoSec. Which are quite unique, and you're modeling one there for us.
Well, it's just not just software that's dope. Everything that we produce, because these are designed by our design team. So we have a design team in the US, and as you can see, they're fantastic at what they do. You can see from the UX in our product as well. So everything we do is dope, including our clothing. So and again, people see these dope jackets and they don't forget them. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add to the list of dope things that you do is also your CISO videos. The I don't know what you call it. You know, where they're driving around.
CISOs in cars. Yeah.
CISOs in cars.
Yeah, and becoming very, very popular as well. I was only speaking to an ex-colleague of mine over the weekend, and they were saying that they've watched a couple of the episodes as well. So the reach is going out there, but I think they're very insightful as well. I think Kunal is done a good job in getting people to express exactly some of the trials and difficulties that CISOs face at the moment, and it gives us an opportunity as well to better understand how we can solve the issues that these guys are facing as well. So yeah, they're proving very popular.
So let's dig into it. And so when I was just doing the researching on Dope Security at the start, one of the first things that I always do is go to the website. And if you look at the company's website, yours is unique in that it feels really themed, and so it's laid out sort of like an airline. There's like an airline theme, and you've got your strap lines of it's time to fly direct. So whilst keeping the authenticity of the technical conversation here, can you dig in a little or explain a bit more what the message you're trying to convey there, please?
Of course, yeah. So I mean, I suppose there are a lot of players in this type of space, right? But the vast majority of them, especially over the last 10 years, have taken the secure web gateway and have moved it from what was traditionally an on-prem proxy. You know, you had your box in your office, everyone was sitting at their desk, and all the web traffic, it went through that proxy, and that's where policy was applied, and that's where you could connect to the internet securely. So if you go 10 years ago, you know, the players like Zscaler, Semantic, no Broadcom, WebSense, no ForcePoint, they basically took that box from the office and they did a lift and shift, and they put it into data centers in the cloud. So what that meant is people then they installed an agent on their device, and traffic was then routed to these data centers. And again, policy was applied, and you were then able to securely access the internet. Now, I worked for some of those companies. I've experienced in this space, and some of the problems that we were always seeing is that there was three core problems with that solution. One was reliability. If the data center went down, then the traffic got routed to another data center, could be in a different country, could be elsewhere. And all of that, of course, led to performance issues. I mean, these proxies are shared between multiple customers. All the traffic is going through the same data center. So again, there's a performance issue there. And the third piece we used to hear a lot about was privacy, because, you know, your data then is being decrypted in a remote location in a cloud. It could be in a different country as well.
You might not even know which country it's gone to.
Like for sure. I mean, we used to get a lot of complaints in terms of localization, where people are connecting to the internet and they're getting ads from France, or they're getting ads from Germany and so forth. So this is where the Fly Direct comes into it, because I suppose if you think about it, I mean, instead of connecting direct to the internet, you're taking a stop off in a different location. So the analogy we use is, like, if you're flying, say, from Dublin, or from Dublin to London, you're not going to go to Edinburgh to do your security check to make sure that it's safe to fly. And that's essentially what is happening when you're using a cloud proxy, you know. So the best way I look at it is, I mean, you're relying on other people's infrastructure to connect securely to the internet, which is, when you think about it, is a bit crazy. So what we've built is, we've gotten rid of the box, if you like. We've gotten rid of the box on-prem and the box in the data center, and we've moved it all onto the endpoint agent. So what we've done now is, we apply the policy, we decrypt the traffic and apply the policy on the actual device before the traffic leaves the endpoint. And what that means then is, you're flying direct to your destination, your whatever website you're connecting to, or whatever.
I see.
As long as it matches policy, then we'll allow the traffic to leave.
So that's an interesting point you've covered there. And also another thing that you're very vocal about in the market is about the speed of deployment. So if I was a customer and I was in my business, we're going to test out dope. I mean, what is involved? Traditionally, when you talk proof of concepts, it's almost like a bit of a dirty word these days, because people roll their eyes, and then they know they've got to roll out servers and change firewall rules and all sorts of things. So how does dope address that sort of conversation?
So when we set out to build a product, which is probably, it's nearly 3 years ago now, I started, you know, I originally worked as a requirements engineer in industrial automation. So I'm very, I suppose, specific about attention to detail. The first 2 high-level requirements I wrote was one, when you deploy the endpoint, you shouldn't know it's there unless you do something you shouldn't do, click on a silly link or something like that. And the other requirement is that people should be able to do a POC of this product without any help from Dope Security. Okay. And that's exactly what we've done. You can go to dope.security, and all you need is a corporate Google or Microsoft email, and then you can run a POC straight away. A tenant will be created for you, and you'll get access to our installation package for either Windows or Mac. And then all you need to do is you just literally install that package, and straight away, the minute it installs, it will actually start to apply policy. Now, the reason we can do that is because of the architecture. So we don't have to worry about trying to route traffic to the data center, because we're doing it all on the device. So the installation package that we have, that you get, has all of the information that the endpoint requires to connect to your tenant in the cloud, and to pull down a policy that will then automatically start applying policy. So you don't need to book a demo or anything like that. I mean, by all means, you can, and we're happy to meet and discuss things with you. But you can go and get up and running in literally a minute and a half, 2 minutes from clicking on try a free trial. You can have everything up and running, and you can actually see traffic being blocked on your device.
So therefore, what you're saying is that a dope deployment consists of nothing more than rolling out an agent and configuring my policy. So how do I know I'm getting the right policy? Can it run? I mean, how will it help me define what policies, as it is inspected traffic?
So the initial policy that comes down is a base policy. So we have 88 categories that you can set to allow, block, or warning. By default, we block 3 of those categories. So we block adult material, we block illegal, and we block security risk categories. So they would be your malicious, suspicious, phishing categories, etc. So that gets pulled out. But then you can go to your tenant, and from there, then you can set those policies to however you want. Obviously, there's custom categories there as well. So if you wanted to say, for example, block social media but allow LinkedIn, then you can create all of those as well. The other great thing about what we've created as well is, because we've got the single proxy, we can provide cloud application control features as well as part of the SWIG license. So traditionally, that would have been part of your CASB license. And the reason for that in a lot of cases, in most cases, is people like Zscaler, ForcePoint, and so forth, they would have bought in CASB products. So they have a SWG proxy and they have a CASB proxy. Well, with us, we've got a single proxy on the device. And what that means is if you want to control access to your Microsoft tenant or your Google tenant or Dropbox, Box, Salesforce, you can do that all from the policy in the cloud as well. And as I say, that's all part of the SWG license. It's not part of the CASB license.
Oh, I see. So really what you're saying in effect is regardless of where my endpoint is, on-prem, off-prem, Starbucks, an airport, going into your earlier theming that we talked about, all it needs is a line of sight into the internet, and that's sufficient to manage it. Gone are the days of VPNing in or having a fixed URL in your browser for the proxy or anything like that.
100%. So that, like, you can be like, we test it on airplanes all the time. If I'm traveling to the US and I connect to the United Airlines Wi-Fi, then my policy is still being applied. It really doesn't matter where you are. And as you say, you don't have to. A lot of people are maybe still using firewalls on-prem and they're backhauling traffic back in, or they're doing split tunneling where they have unsecure access to the internet and they're just sending certain traffic back in. With our product, it doesn't matter where you are, policy will always be applied.
Okay, so then what in the market, and if we sort of take aside marketing information, and what makes you different then from your competitors? What's your really sort of key features, your killer features, if you want, or what's it called, unique selling points?
Sure. Well, I think there's 2 points. The first point is, as I mentioned earlier, right, the way we've set up the company and the people that we've employed in the company make sure that we're always thinking of the users and the users' experience. That's the big thing. We have a lot of people who've worked in this industry for many years, and they're now building these products. So they're taking all that experience that they have as well to make sure that we've got a top class, both the endpoint and in the cloud as well. So, I mean, we've essentially what we've done is we've built a consumer type UX on an enterprise product, which is badly needed in the cybersecurity space as well. I think you'd agree. I mean, in the past, I've worked on products where you could do it. You'd need a degree to actually be able to configure and to maintain it. So that's the first thing. We're very conscious of the fact that it shouldn't be that difficult to configure and maintain cybersecurity products, and that's the big thing. But I mean, the other side is, I mean, as you say, all you need to do with our product is you can do a mass deployment using Jamf, using Intune, using BigFix, whatever deployment tool you're using. Push it out, and the product will start to work straight away. Go to our console, change the policy. You want to all of a sudden you want to add a new URL that's come from a threat intelligence tool. You can push that into a custom category. And because of our architecture, within a couple of seconds, all of your endpoints will be applying that policy.
Is that fast?
Oh, it takes a second or two for the policy to update. It's not like the cloud proxies where they're relying on API calls that maybe happen every 30 minutes or 60 minutes. In our case, the endpoint will get a notification that there's a new policy available for it, and then it'll do an API call to pull that config down, and it's done within a second. So I've actually, if people want to look at my LinkedIn account, they'll be able to see I've done some posts around this and how we actually managed to achieve that as well. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what we'll do, we'll make sure we include a link to your LinkedIn in the comments, in the description section of the video. Listen, Aidan, I always try and keep these short, bite-sized chunks. Fascinating technology, what you're building. It really is. And look, thank you very much indeed for taking the time out to have a chat with me.
Daniel, thanks so much. And as I say, if people want to go to dope.security, they can trial the product for free. They'll be up and running in a couple of minutes. So, and thanks again for the invite to come on.
No, pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Daniel.